Mr. G. I'm at Memorial High School, and I just want to talk about project management. Come on in here. Imagine this is your calendar. I know this is a piece of wood, but if this is your deadline, right? Like, let's say you're doing a project and you know your deadline. So you take a pole and you put it in the ground. Bam! That's your deadline. Huh? Right? And imagine this represents your sense of urgency. Most people, I think, act like this. Like, this is a chart. So they start out, they're not that urgent. They come along, they get more and more, slightly more urgent as they go. And then at the end, come on in here. At the end, they're at panic mode. Like, the top here is like panic. So basically, most people do not much until the end, when they're like, oh, it's due, right? The project's due. And at the end, really, you've no chance to make changes or improvements or really do your best work. It's not your best work. So what do you do? What to do, right? How do you fix this? Well, some people could put a false deadline. And you take, this is the real one, and this is the fake one. In the same amount of time, you do the same thing but smaller. And then because of over here, you get a little relief. And then it goes back down. But the same thing happens. You basically, you do nothing in the beginning and then you panic towards the end. But at least this gives you a chance to breathe and think. You know what I mean? So if the false deadline works, it gives you a chance. And it raises that urgency in the middle of the project rather than at the end. Why wouldn't you just put more of those in? And instead of false deadlines, you could call them, I got too many. Instead of false deadlines, you could call them milestones. Milestones. Right? So then, what you end up doing is, you're not going to do much until that one, but at least in here you're going to accomplish something. Then it gives you a chance to think, and you go back into the same relaxed mode, and then now you're back at this, and you get to relax in here. And this is really where you get, believe it or not, when you're sleeping or resting, you're still thinking about the ideas in the background, and that gives you a chance to, so you want to learn something extra or go further into the project, that gives you the breathing room to do it. And then you got one here. So if you look at the average throughout your project, you really start to average out. Remember, the ruler is like your level of urgency, right? Really, if you averaged it out, it would end up being that you're pretty comfortable throughout the project because you're hitting these milestones. Now, the milestones mean nothing if they can move on the calendar. So they have to have dates. So you have to say, you break the project into pieces and you say, okay, this is due here. This is due here. This is due here. This is due here. And if you have to, you can even put in, more of them. And that's it. That's my approach to project management, especially with groups. And actually, it doesn't matter whether it's groups or not. So I hope this helps, and we can try to implement this maybe with our either robotics program or with any program we've got here. All right, so actually, the person holding the camera knows about this. Didn't I kind of give you like a milestone?
Yeah.
So let me talk to Gio for a second here. All right, we got Gio with us. Here, come on this side. Let's see, is this still working? Yeah. So Gio, okay, remember we did the hovercraft project?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember I gave you the cardboard and I said, okay, you guys, by a certain time, you have to have, this has to support 50 pounds. Was there a deadline on that?
No.
No. Okay. But you had to do this to get to the next step. All right. Okay. So you had a milestone. It would be like you had to achieve X in order to go to Y.
Yes.
Okay.
We started to brainstorm in the beginning, And after that, we got our thoughts and plans together. We started to go into the cardboard. We weren't automatically going into the cardboard. We were seeing what we had to deal with. And after that, we decided.
Wait, so you started with the cardboard?
No, we started with the brainstorming.
Started with brainstorming, okay.
Drawings and stuff. Then we went to the cardboard, seeing what we had to deal with.
Okay.
What materials we have. And after that, and all during the span time of the certain deadline, because of course it wasn't a deadline, but we wanted to be there. We didn't want to be left behind either.
Wait, I lost you. What are you saying? I'm sorry, I'm tired. Okay, so you started with drawings.
Yeah, started with drawings.
Then you went to cardboard.
And then from there we started to see what we had to deal with. We didn't go automatically start building it. We saw the materials we were dealing with, and after that is when we started to actually start.
Okay, so there's different steps to the project, like almost like gates. I can't think of the words right now, but basically you had to achieve this in order to go further. You wouldn't go further without achieving certain things.
And even then, failure was also an achievement as well.
Right, because you know what doesn't work.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right.
That made everything more clear, and that's how we got to going from 50 pounds to exceeding it to 120 pounds in the end.
So failure made it more clear.
Yes.
That's an interesting concept, right? It's kind of opposite of the grade book, which is like an A, and then the F is at the bottom. But if you flip it upside down, the F is really where the discovery is if you figure out why it failed. The problem with the Fs in the letter grade situation is that failure is really considered quitting. Like you got the F and then that's it. But if you get the F and you figure out what you did wrong and you get another chance, that's engineering.
Yes. Failure is not giving up.
Right.
Seeing what went wrong and trying to figure out in order to make it better.
So do you think if there were deadlines on each step, would that have helped a little bit?
Definitely.
All right. I can't remember if we did that or not. But anyway, going forward, it's all about the steps, breaking it into smaller pieces, and then if we put those deadlines on, that would have helped, I think. Because it gives you a sense of urgency a lot earlier in the project rather than later, and then what they call cramming. And when it comes to engineering, you can't cram. It's just not possible because you haven't spent the time figuring out all your failure points. You don't want to have surprise failure at the end.
You have a plan also.
Was that?
You don't have a plan also.
You don't have a plan.
You think you might have a plan, like, oh yeah, I'll get this done, but then no. But you haven't thought of the details in the plan, which is essential later on.
Right. Right, so you need the time to breathe, you need the time to plan. Anyway, I think you guys got the idea. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'm Mr. G. This is Gio. Sorry, that was a high and a 5. All right, we're very tired. Okay, it's time to end the video. See you later.